Welcome back to the Hindsight 2020 podcast.
Welcome back.
Episode number
3?
4 that. Or is it? No, it's 4,
This
right?
is 4.
I think 3 dropped today, so go check that out.
Yes, sir.
Actually, it'll be like a week later when this drops, but it's all Gucci. How was your day so far?
It was good, bro. I went and saw the fam. It's the day after Christmas, but they were up in Palm Springs, and I was working last night, so. And then we went to lunch, and then I came back. We got a TV. Me and Kara got a TV.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
Flat screen?
Yeah, of course.
What size?
43 inches of random.
Dude, that's the one we're trying to get.
43?
What brand?
I didn't even look. We just put that shit together, played Smash Bros, and chilled out for a little bit. It was chill though, dude. Waited for you, and then now we are here. I created a world that went, in this path. Many worlds.
Instead of the other path of not working on the pod tonight.
Yeah, which I mean would probably too. I guess, but no.
But we're trying to be consistent. We're trying to provide the content for y'all.
What up with you?
Dude, it was a good day at work. I blew through juice day super quick. Took me like 4 hours. Small fruits day.
That's Gucci.
Yeah, and then, we're here. I listened to that Merkaba video about crystals. Let's get into that. That shit was crazy.
Hop straight into it. Let's do it. What's up? What do you think?
First off, I had never thought about the fact that every microchip, every the panels in computers, all the stuff that powers like an iPhone and
like a circuit board,
all that stuff has crystals in it.
Yeah, exactly.
I had no idea. And he was talking about how certain crystals can hold up to so many terabytes of memory
forever.
And I was like, I never put 2 and 2 together that the processing power of all the things that run the internet and run all the computing that we do was powered by and operates under crystals. Or
at least they play a part in it, a huge part in it.
Like you can't do it without them.
Exactly. Are we gonna pull up the video later, or you want to just pull up little clips from it? Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Do you know some certain timestamps on it?
Nah, I can figure that out quick though. But I just wanted to make sure so we don't have to keep if we have to explain, what you're talking about and stuff like that. But yeah, that definitely that, and then the crystals in your ear.
I heard about that too.
Yeah, that was that leads to part of why you get dizzy or motion sickness.
Vertigo, right?
Vertigo.
When you have your equilibrium is compromised, so you don't know how to find your balance.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever had that. Have you? Nah,
but have you ever been in the bowl skating or been skating a stair set and you knock your head and you get up and everything is all
I guess so.
Wobbly that. That's probably has to do with that.
If you're on that ride at the Del Mar Fair or just at any fair, and then it's that one that you spin around first and one time, and then when you get off of it, yeah, you don't know which way is up or down or left or right. Yeah, I guess I can see that.
Probably the crystals in your ear.
Yeah, spinning around.
Dude, yeah, I didn't really realize that crystals played such an integral part in technology, or the fact that there's silica in crystals that also resides in our
skin,
bones, all that stuff, and that would totally make sense that we would have some sort of weird connection to crystals because we're made up of some of the same compounds that they are.
Mm-hmm. It's not like you would take crystals and literally ingest them or anything, but it's like people that take iron or you get iron from certain plants and stuff like that. So it's obviously, you're made up of these things, so you need to regenerate your body with these certain type of, makeups.
Crystals.
Yeah.
And I like that he read the article about people debunking crystals in the beginning, just to start with that. Because I feel like if he would have just said, nah, this is some total bullshit. No, he briefed us with, okay, this is what most people think, but let me tell you why this is wrong.
Mm-hmm. And or how this could be, not even how this is wrong, but why this is not the full truth,
the full truth.
Yeah, exactly. Because it still is up in the air, but
it's, for sure.
You can't just knock it. You can't just be man, those are just rocks from the ground.
Definitely not. definitely more
hold
research.
A little bit more. What's your past with crystals, bro? Because I know you introduced me to a lot of these little rocks. So
I I have a big collection. I got a lot of labradorite. I got a lot of selenite. I got obviously rose quartz. They say that's the love crystal. I have, those are the three that come off the top of my head quick. A lot of them have really big names and big words. I have seraphronite. I have.
You definitely got an amethyst somewhere around here now.
I have most of my crystals upstairs now in the room, like on the little bookshelf that we have. But to be honest, he was talking to me when he was saying to people like, "Oh, your crystals are on your desk looking stupid, but you gotta you gotta have like energy and motion with your crystals. Like you gotta get them to a certain vibratory frequency for them to actually work and activate." And I don't spend a whole lot of time like sitting with my crystals or shaking up my crystals or getting them hot or like letting them soak up sunlight or moonlight. Or I don't really do a whole lot of that. So
yeah, it's just like they're there and you're like, oh, they're cool.
They're pretty rocks to me at this point. And a lot of the placebo shit he was saying, like I resonate with that, but I also don't know everything about crystals like he was saying. So I feel like crystals are dumb to the person that doesn't know enough about them.
How'd you get into it though? Who like showed you crystals or like even brought you the idea of like that was a cool thing?
A lot of people.
Dom, I know.
Dom for sure.
Swami.
Aaron for sure.
Aaron, yeah, he got me my first necklace, I'm pretty sure.
Vade for sure. But like even before that, my mom has like quartz crystals and shit that was laying around the house, but she didn't really like look at it for any sort of spirituality. But I remember always being super infatuated with like the way crystals look versus just a little rock on the ground. You know, like how the color could be so vibrant, or the fact that it took millions of years for this thing to be produced in the earth. Like I always think about that. I'm like, there's so much energy that was used to make that thing. And like he was saying, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just transfers. So all that, the millions of years of energy that creates to pressurize a diamond, or the millions of years of energy it takes to make like a sapphire or a ruby or a rose quartz or whatever like crystal is being created in the ground, like wouldn't that all that millions of years of energy be trapped within that crystal?
Yeah, pretty much, right? That's what I would assume. That's a trip to think about. I guess you could even apply that to everything that's that's in physical form. You could be like but not like anything that we've physically manipulated or anything like that. But like anything you could find in nature, like a tree, like you could cut it open and see like
the rings inside of it.
Yeah,
see how
see
old it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's all energy. That's all like past.
And it's got a function. It's like has a purpose to like live and do a certain thing for the world. I don't know who got you into crystals.
You guys, I mean, like you said, all the people that you just named, Vade, Neek, Dom, sorry, Aaron, you. Trey, cause I remember I never had like saw them growing up, or like I knew about them, like I'd seen them, but
same.
It was never like they weren't even ever around the house that much. But like right when I started hanging out with you guys and getting the raps and stuff, I was like, "Well, this is cool." And then like getting more into ancient Egypt and stuff and seeing them rock it, just like being more in tune and being like, "Oh shit!" Like looking at the old movies and being like, "Damn, look at the jewels they're rocking," and like even rap videos and stuff like not like. They like rock diamonds and stuff, but like but like you could even compare diamonds to like crystal. It's just it's just the way they look, just like the shining of those type of stones on the body just has a certain accent to it.
Of course, and they also relate like the chakra system, like the purple, the blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, and the red to like describe what a certain crystal will help you with. So like the red chakra, the sacral chakra, the root chakra. Associated with awakening, associated with like finding like the higher self inside of you to find your true purpose, or the sacral chakra balancing out sex and creativity, or the crown chakra, like whatever the chakra is supposed to do. That's what they say that the color of the crystal helps you with. So it's like a cool way of like, okay, I have this blue crystal, this blue-green crystal is going to help me with love because of the anahata and like the heart chakra. Like, all that kind of shit. And I think I got into that because of being around a lot of yogic people, too. Like,
I don't think a lot of people even know about what you just, like, what'd you say? Yanahata?
Anahata. Okay,
Anahata.
Wait.
So
I think that maybe I should explain myself real quick. I got you. Just read out the chakras.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, I can kind of, I understand what you're saying, but I've never never studied the chakras like that to know all the different points and what they actually do.
Well, I am definitely not an expert, but I will definitely
sure.
I will describe it to you real quick. Okay, so we got the Muladhara chakra. That's the root chakra. It's located at the base of the spine. That's what is associated with like the Kundalini awakening. Like when someone says they're awakening their Kundalini, that it's like the serpent coiled at the base of your spine. We got the Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra, the Manipura, the navel chakra, Anahata, the heart chakra. Remember I made that song, Anahata, I be radiating love, like. Visuddha chakra, the throat chakra, has to do with like communication. Someone that has to work on their throat chakra has problems being straight up with people, has problems communicating and getting what they need. Like, and on the exact opposite spectrum, like someone that's has their chakra balance in that area is really good at communicating, like really good at getting what they want in certain situations. Sorry if I'm butchering these names, by the way, too. I don't know how to speak Sanskrit. Ajna, the third eye chakra, and Sahasrara, the crown chakra.
Is that all? Are these what religion or practice are these originate from? Or
So this is Sanskrit, which comes from ancient India.
so like Hindu?
So no, not
Would be before that?
I mean the Hindu culture and this culture, I don't know if they're the same. I'm honestly not educated enough to say that, but I'm pretty sure it comes from the yogic philosophies, like the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita, like all that kind of shit.
Okay.
Which I'm not well versed on, so I'm
understand.
not trying to butcher anything. But let's see. So the different chakras have like specific functions. The crown chakra, its function is bliss. Its body parts are the central nervous system. The third eye chakra, its function is intuition, and its body parts are the eyes. The throat chakra is the ear. That's the body part and communication. The heart chakra, the body parts are like the heart and the lungs, and the function is the balance. Solar plexus, the Manipura chakra, is creativity, which I thought that the sacral chakra was creativity, but the sacral chakra is sexuality, and the body parts are the reproductive area, and then the root chakra is the spine, the adrenal glands, and its function is centering. That's just one take, though. I've read
it's probably a different one.
Different explanations.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you for explaining. Now we know a little bit more about the chakras.
For sure. It's important for you to dig into that shit. I remember being a little kid watching Avatar: The Last Airbender and hearing him talk about the meridians or the chi. And
well, they do talk about that. A lot of cartoons and stuff like that.
They talk about like how you have to center your chi and like different points on your body for like fire bending or air bending. I always was like super fascinated by that type of shit.
That's how Bruce Lee got good at fighting and shit. He'd always talk about that.
And I find that other cultures, like, it's not even just, like, the yogi culture or the meridians. I think the meridian is, like, a Chinese thing. Or, like, all these different cultures have different ways to explain how energy works. Like, how different parts of your body, like, function. Or, like, how different, how the universe interacts with you. All these cultures have different ways of explaining similar things. And different shapes.
Definitely.
Symbols and shit that look similar but are from different cultures,
That's a deeper meaning behind all this stuff. Hindsight, right? You can look back and be like, wow, all this stuff is connected. But during the time that all this stuff was being manifested, it all kind of seemed like it was different stuff maybe around the world, or who knows how people thought about it.
That's a trip. That is a trip. They probably were all looking at the way that they were living and thinking that they were really different from each other and just didn't have the hindsight to like look back and see that they were doing a bunch of similar shit and like focused on like the same outcome.
Yeah. Which we're still in today, right? Crazy, dude.
Still. We were sitting in here tripping on acid like 2015 talking about like it was you, me, Trey, had to have been probably Aaron, maybe Bougie, probably St. Nick. I don't remember who exactly was here, but I remember we were like talking about the pyramids and how they've been around for thousands of years and how it's like the face of a culture that no one can like know anything about anymore. And then I remember just like my mind started melting and I started crying because I was thinking, I was like, what if 5,000 years, like whatever of our longest lasting buildings is the only thing left for the culture 5,000 years from now that might have to start from the ground up to tell what we were doing. And then 5,000 years from that culture, like they're looking at that culture's like biggest project or building that still stood the test of time, and they're like trying to trace, like just this constant missing. The culture collapses because we kill everybody, or like because we can't get along and we can't come to
an understanding,
the understanding or the next peak, and then it just keeps on cycling. Like,
well, what building do we even have? Like if there was a massive cataclysm, what thing do, like in our generation, what building do you think would stand the test of time, or just like natural disaster or anything like that?
I don't know why I was gonna say Great Wall of China, but that shit's old as fuck too. That shit's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, not in our generation, but yeah, nothing really in our generation, huh?
Maybe the Empire State Building, but that shit's really that shit wouldn't last.
I mean, if the Twin Towers got blown up by a plane, then
yeah, because it's not made in the pyramid structure, which is how older civilizations created shit, so it would stay. Like during an earthquake,
and the materials it's made out of, it's not made out of just like solid stone. So like, I don't know.
How are they building that shit though?
Who knows? We have to watch some more Joe Rogan videos that he be going off on that.
Yeah, but he
like debunk it.
Nah, he be parking it right when it starts to get into areas where they can't explain it logically anymore.
Yeah, but okay. So check this out. If they came out with new technology to explain it, then they could logically say it. But that was one of the woes. That was like an idea before, then wouldn't that be like kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but
I know exactly what you're saying. Like once we come up with the technology, then all the intuition that everyone's been having about why things are the way that they are, then they'll get behind, okay, maybe you're right. But not until the technology presents itself, or we recreate the new technology that could possibly explain how they were doing things.
Yeah,
in the past.
Exactly, bro. So it's just like, damn, that's how literally everything comes about, Like everything's up in the woo-woo area until someone discovers how it actually works. I was thinking, okay, so I tripped acid like a couple days ago, and I finally kind of got that many worlds theory that we were talking about last time with Sean Carroll, right? Mm-hmm. His name. Like it was kind of hard for me to grasp that whole idea of like, because it was a really great area. He didn't really say where like you would split dimensions and everything.
No, he kind of like it started off with the assumption that people already knew what was going on with his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like, but where, like how can, and then he said you can never go back to those dimensions, and you can never, so like, do they even really exist, because then they're somewhere else off in a new world or whatever. But me and Jesse, my homie Disordered Thought.
Shout out.
Yeah. We were playing Red Dead Redemption, and that's like it's like kind of like a old Western version of Grand Theft Auto. So you ride horses, you can steal cattle and stuff like that, and like it's just real like almost a real time like old Western video game. But he was like, bro, imagine like the dude that was sitting here designing this video game, like that's crazy. Like where like imagine what he was thinking at that time. And I was like, whoa, but wait, there was like a team of people, and he's like, whoa, yeah, like the team. Imagine like what they were thinking. I was like, think about that. We're entering their thought process, or, their mental state at that time, and like, so they left that world for us to come into and later on in time.
And like try to figure out from the bottom up.
Exactly.
They're leaving like little Easter eggs in there, like as like their little signature, so that you can like figure out their personality or why they decided to leave this here. It's all like
it's like a book, just like anything like that, like that's just living proof of someone making a different world in this world that we already live in. Like I was like, whoa! I honestly get that concept a lot more. I can wrap my head around it. At least now, and I was like, whoa! Acid does a lot of things. Like melts the brain, so you can like melds it, so you can come to understandings about a lot of things.
I've had epiphanies on that shit that I couldn't have had without it.
For sure.
Like shit that just like boom, dots connected. Okay. Now my brain has the pathway that can like get from point A to point B with this thought.
I had another one last night. I can't think of it like straight off the top, but if it comes to me before we finish this, I'll burn it out.
For sure. When you said that though, right now, I was thinking, okay, Well, there are little like Easter eggs in life that can't be explained too. Like, there was this thought experiment that I was in a philosophy class, and there was this thought experiment that one of the greats did, like Cousteau or one of the, not Cousteau. What the fuck am I talking about? See, this is what happens when you're out of college for a couple years. You start forgetting all the people that created society.
Bro, I need to go back.
One of the Newtons, one of those types of people.
Okay.
The people that like come up with the concepts of how free people live today, like the people that John Locke, those types of people. And he was doing a thought experiment, and he was trying to break language down into its simplest form to describe something that couldn't be proven wrong. And the simplest thing that he could break down was to say that I am. You can't go beyond I am, and you can't prove anything other than I am. Because with the senses, lots of things can be disproved. Like, to us, when we're looking at the horizon, it looks like it's flat, but when you zoom in or you go to the edge of where you thought it looked flat, it was actually round, so your eyes are deceiving you. And your scent deceives you. The sound will deceive you because there are certain frequencies you can't hear. There are higher frequencies you can't hear, lower frequencies you can't hear. Your vision deceives you because there are certain colors you can't see that other animals can.
For sure.
Versus like other animals that, like, we have trichromatic vision and predators have dichromatic vision, so they see less colors, we see more colors. And then there are bugs that can see ultraviolet light and black light, and we can't see that. So like the senses are a poor predictor anyway of what's really going on around us.
Sure.
But what if that is where they've left the Easter eggs, like the shit like that we can't see into the other parts of what's actually right here around us. But like figuring out why is the Easter egg. Like, that can tell us more about the higher consciousness that created us and is possibly playing a big game with us. You know?
Sheesh. That's some super food for thought right there. Damn, I never thought of it like that at all. That's definitely, I mean, that's kind of like it's almost like a common sense thing that you can't put together unless you really like, consciously think about it like that.
Yeah.
It's like, obvious, like those are Easter eggs, so they were secrets that we did figure out, but what if those really what like that really is the meaning to,
and it takes you to the next level.
Exactly.
Like the flower of life. Like when I watched that sonic geometry video that we discovered a few years ago that talks about 432 hertz and the flower of life and everything like that, and it was talking about how Pythagoras and all those mathematicians from back then were like learning how to tune music and create geometry on a certain scale, like certain notes resonating at certain frequencies. If you guys want to learn more, just look up on YouTube sonic geometry. There's a part 1 and part 2, and it explains how like the Sumerians created their based 60 counting system where they were pretty much using their hands to count all the way up to 60, and everything's in multiples of 3 and 6 and 12 and all those numbers. And look that shit up. It's hard for me to explain because I'm
a lot. We're going off on a lot of different things.
But anyway,
I'm surprised you're keeping up, bro. Not like that, keeping up with me, keeping up with this information.
It's hard, and maybe we'll have to like do more video research and come correct with like one topic one day.
For sure.
But anyway, the 432 hertz shit is the frequency of life. It permeates through the universe. That's why when you have like a tonal board and you shine that, or you sound that frequency through it, it creates the flower of life shape. And it also is seen in plants. It's seen in like a sunflower. When you open the petals of a sunflower and look on the core, you see that shape. It's the shape that literally creates life through the universe. Like that was, I feel like, one of the codes that the creator left behind, that we don't really understand why it is the way it is yet, but we understand that it's there and how it works. Just like how Neil deGrasse Tyson was explaining, like we understand the functions of the universe. I can do a rewind clock on the earth 10,000 years from now and know what star was in the sky, at what position in the nighttime sky, like where the sun was, where the moon was. We don't understand why, but we know that we can do it. Like once we understand the purpose of everything, why it is the way it is around us, then all the woo will start to make sense, because astrology tries to explain why things are certain distances in the sky apart on the day that you're born, and like gives you certain like qualities based on that, or any of those kinds of concepts. But then people that are like logic based come in and say, well, we don't have a science that can really tell us why that is how it is yet, so it means nothing. I don't know. Am I like going off the deep end too far?
I mean, it's not even going off the deep end, but that's literally what logic based. That's how logic based people think, and It's kind of crazy. It's kind of like a closed-minded way to think. Like I think we got into it last podcast. Was it like you can only be so logic-based because then you're just like closing off the gaps of being able to like being in that realm of like spirituality and like being able to grow as like a being. Like just because you can only prove certain things doesn't mean that there aren't, like you said, like the subliminal things. Like we can't see the fucking infrared lights and stuff just because we found out that there were infrared lights later on.
Yeah.
Didn't like.
But if you had told that to a human that didn't know that at the time, they wouldn't believe you.
Woo woo,
Woo woo.
Woo woo woo.
Whoa whoa.
I remembered what I was gonna talk about earlier. Another thought I had when I was tripping the other day. That it was another thing about the quantum realm or like just quantum theory in general is that professionals of any like field, I'm trying to word this correctly, are pretty much like professionals of any field are pretty much masters of that quantum realm. Because they've pretty much discovered every possible outcome and know what is going to be at the end of that, whatever the decision that they make, like because they've done it so many times, they've done it so many repetitive, so they know exactly what can happen at each individual spot.
They know all the probabilities of every outcome.
Every probability to make the right decision, almost like pretty much every time. Obviously there's human error, which makes for a mistake, but like that's where like the professional gets drawn, and I think that's where humans have the potential to become a professional at literally anything and everything at once. Like you can be a professional skateboarder while being a professional linguist, while like being like just anything. It's like, but we limit ourselves in like with this whole career path that like people take, like, oh, I'm a professional this, and then you're just that forever. You never veer out into different lanes. But like we're just like infinite energy, or infinite like knowledge. Like we have the capacity to hold like anything.
I really believe that anyone can learn anything, that anyone can overcome anything, and I don't believe it just because it's some idea in my mind. I feel like I prove it to myself every day when I get up and try to be a better version of myself. Mm-hmm. And I know that because the hours of the day limit us from how much we can do, or because the responsibilities that we have to other people limit us with the amount of time that we're allowed to just dive off the deep end and like continually expand, I know that those are the reasons why it's not possible to become a mathematician and a professional skateboarder and the best audio engineer and a fucking a freelance architect and a fucking a base jumper, like anything that your mind can imagine. Because if you can imagine it, you can do it. Like if you can put enough hours if you could put 10,000 hours into every craft there is, you'd be a professional at everything. It's just the time that limits us. It's not the what's the word? The
inability to do it.
The inability to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're just smarter than other people. I don't know.
But what is, like that whole thing about time, like that is just, it's like a mental construct. Like we get into it at work sometimes. Like it's just all about how you think time works, like you can think that your whole day is ruined because 8 to 10 hours of it goes to work, and then you only have, you got 8 hours to sleep, or if you want to get a good rest, at least like 6 to 7 hours or something like that. So then that leaves you with like, what a good like 6 hours for yourself. Yeah, or something like that. So like you can either use that 6 hours and be like, oh, I'm too tired to do anything, or you can use that wisely. And then eventually using that time wisely will eventually lead you to not having to work as much on the 9 to 5 that you don't really, aren't really into when you want to be doing something else, because
of course, yeah,
because you're working towards that goal, and you're obviously going to make decisions that are going to, financially support that, on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it when Yamina got me that passion planner for 2020. I was writing out just how much, just the bare minimum of what we could do every week, and then what I wanted to get out of it. So I wrote one for all the stuff that I'm doing with Yams. I wrote one for the music stuff I want to do for myself, and then I wrote one for Hindsight 2020. So I wrote down the amount of podcasts that it would be in a year, and then I wrote down the amount of podcasts that it would be in 3 years, and I was like, whoa, that's 156 podcasts.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
That's a
lot
of
dude.
Podcasts, and the goal is really one a week. But when you look at it over 3 years, that's a lot of work. That's 156 hours on film. You triple that to take the amount of time that it takes to edit those and put the footage together and cut it up and put the things on the green screen. 156 times 3, that, I don't know, 450 plus 156 times 3. It's 450 plus 18, 468 hours of time. And that's only, what, 3 hours every Thursday?
Mm-hmm. But, timer.
Yep. We're going to stop the camera real quick, and you can keep talking while I do that.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's cool that you guys got that planner thing going, because if you really do plan it out like that, it's like you're almost only failing if you choose not to do the things that you put your mind or that you've written down. Something cut off.
Oh, I probably stepped on the cord.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's just like if it's already written down, then you know what you should be doing or like what that you want to be doing, and then you're just procrastinating your own goals in your own life.
But yeah, if you can't I think about it this way. If I don't have the mental wherewithal to commit to like 3 hours with my best friend once every Thursday, or like let's say because I'm going to Hawaii, we have to do 2.
Yeah.
Like if I can't do that, then am I ever gonna be able to like make enough money on my own at all? Like if I'm never gonna take myself seriously enough, you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Because I take this shit hella serious. I want this to be one of our streams of income. I even put down.
For sure.
I put it down on the paper that I was writing on it, and I was like, I really want to be able to make like $1,000 a month off this shit in 3 years. And like, even if we could do that in 3 years, I have fun doing this.
Yeah,
this isn't even like work.
It would if it comes organically, it comes. Like that's just how it works. I think people just like to force things, and then if it doesn't work real quick, we're done with it.
Yeah, I mean,
we're done with it.
I'm down to do 156 podcasts, and then if we're not making money by that 156 podcasts, and we really want to like just do it for fun and not focus on it every week, then that's a discussion we'll have in 3 years. But if we can commit to 156 and all that while look up a place to host our podcast so that we can get it on Apple and Spotify, and then reach out to like local people that want their ads read on camera. Like that's how people make money on podcasts. They fucking get people who's like Postmates, for example. Brilliant Idiots does that shit where they'll read like the Postmates ad and they make it all fun and funny, but those people they're paying them to read that shit on camera.
Oh yeah.
That's how you make money on a podcast.
And they literally just like stop the podcast real quick, do a little thing, and then just continue, and it's over with. I
learned a lot from them too. Like at some point we should write.
Who is it?
The Brilliant Idiots. That's Andrew Schultz and Charlamagne the God.
Okay.
Yeah, they have.
I know them, not together, but I mean, I didn't know they had a podcast together, but I know them separately.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Schultz, like we met him on Guy Code back in the day on MTV.
Yeah,
and then Charlamagne obviously was on Guy Code too, and now like I look at the way that they've done it, and they had Brilliant Idiots literally for like years, and it was underground as fuck. They just did that shit. It was their passion project. Well, all the while, Charlamagne had Breakfast Club, and that shit was popping. And now the Brilliant Idiots is starting to pop too, and fucking Andrew got his second podcast and Not Flagrant with his 2 comedian homies, and he just got his first $1 million offer from a label, a network, for a comedy special that he dropped for free on YouTube. Like he's starting to get these offers, and they've been working at it like 5 to 10 years, and they're finally starting to see like, or at least in Andrew's case, he's finally starting to see the benefits of all that work. And he's just been putting the time in, making sure he's there every fucking Thursday for the podcast with Charlamagne, making sure he's working on his like comedy craft. And I'm like, if he can do it in his field, like I can do it in mine, as long as I'm picking up a business and music book and reading it, making sure I'm up on all the latest like laws, making sure I know how to get my shit,
monetized and
all that shit.
Of that. Yeah, exactly. It's all about having the proper plan, right, and executing. That's kind of hindsight 2020. You go through life, and then you realize, oh shit, I didn't even have a plan. I thought I had a goal but no plan. So if you have a goal and no plan, then you can't really execute properly, and then you end up. If you get lucky, I guess you get lucky, but I don't see too many of us getting lucky around here.
Speaking of lucky, I was listening at work today to this Rap Radar podcast. If you guys don't know what Rap Radar is, it's a podcast that brings on all artists in the hip hop game that Tidal hosts. Tidal is Jay-Z's like yeah. Anyway, Jay-Z
Tidal Wave.
Yeah, that shit's dope as fuck. Yeah, they have that bar. Travis has that bar on that Portland song where he's like, didn't sign with Jay, but I still send the Tidal Wave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I like that bar. But they had a Rap Radar podcast with Drake today. And
that's what I saw. I saw it's like a 2.5 hour thing.
I've only watched like an hour and a half of it, but damn. Like, I know that Drake is elusive when it comes to interviews, but I really,
pretty personal in this one, or
really, really respect that man's character, bro. Like, he was talking about how literally every day he wakes up and he's thankful for the opportunities that Lil Wayne gave him, and how like he was everyone knew in the rap game that the guy from fucking Degrassi was not gonna be the guy at that time. They all thought he wasn't gonna be the guy, and no matter what, he just kept chasing. Like, he said he wanted to be his mentor's best student. That's his words he used. I want to be my mentor's best student. If I can even get close to like being able to touch the type of influence that Wayne has, then that'll be happy, like, for me. And he just kept like speaking about everything in this way. It's like, you think that the number one artist in the world that's been on the charts literally for the last 10 years in the top 10 would have some sort of ego, or at least he didn't seem as if he had that type of ego. And he was talking about all his beefs with people over the years, and he just seemed like such a humble dude, bro. And like talking about the way that he goes about his business. I didn't take notes on it because I was working, but I was like, damn, I wanted to at least shout that shit out that I fuck with Drake.
I fuck with Drake. I mean, no matter what. I mean, everyone would be like, oh, he has ghostwriters, he's soft, da 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 da. I've always fucked with Drake. Always. Fool makes really good music, no matter what.
Yeah. He was talking about he addressed the ghostwriter shit too.
Really?
Yeah, you should.
I might really have to listen to that shit, yeah, because I really do fuck with Drake. I haven't been on my rap interview shit, though. I should really be getting back into that. Not because, I mean, I don't know. I'm not into, I want to know, like, you know, I want to be, like, current with, like, people and how they operate. But at the same time, like, I feel like it's almost a broken record with a lot of the upcoming, you know, like, rappers and stuff like that. So, like, when stuff like Drake Rap Radar comes out, that's like a breath of fresh air, you know?
For sure, especially because he never drops interviews.
Exactly.
And when they are, it's always like he controls it. Like, they went to Toronto to this fool's house to do the podcast, and they dropped it on his YouTube.
That's it. I'm probably listening on the way home, like, from this bitch.
I need to finish the last hour of it.
I work tomorrow.
It was a breath of fresh air to like listen to him talk about how he manifested his career, like the wording, the choice of words that he was using to describe his career. I felt real, like, simpatico, like really alike in at least my mindset. Not that I've been able to outwardly achieve the things that he's been able to outwardly achieve, but at least the way he like goes about things and thinks about things. I was like, I get you. Like, I feel like 5 years ago, if I would have listened to that podcast, I probably wouldn't have heard the same thing.
Dude, that's how I be feeling about everything all the time. Like, every time I grow as a individual, every time I like see something new, I'll be like, damn, I wouldn't have heard this the way I hear it now, you know, like 5 years ago, 3 years, 2 months ago, 6 months ago, like, even, dude, I'm just like, this is crazy the way I'm hearing and seeing everything every time I level up just in life, you know. I'm like, I count level up just as like learning one new thing, you know, a day or stuff like that. Like, so it's just, we're in a slow pace, you know, like the tortoise, you know, but he's still going to win the race, so.
It begs the question if the world around you is even the same world if you've learned that new thing. Because think about it. Like, you learn that new thing, and then all of a sudden you're seeing it everywhere. Mm-hmm. And it's in everything. But
it's almost like that. It almost becomes that many worlds thing becomes like apparent right there, you know? Like, you literally just change the world into a different...
like, you're going off into, like, a new dimension when you learn something new.
Like, I don't know. Like, I when you got your car, did you start seeing your car everywhere?
Like my Ford Fiesta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, every time I got a new car or whatever, or like, you know, someone around me got a car, like, I would, like, is that the homie? No, but I see the car everywhere, you know? Yeah.
There's a very specific and weird memory I have when I was, like, 10 years old, and I would watch 2.5 Men all the time, where I remember I heard the word horny in the fucking show, and I asked my mom, I'm like, what does that mean? And she's like, look it up. And then I learned what horny was, and then all of a sudden, I just started hearing it in conversations around school.
Everywhere. Exactly.
And I'm like, I must have been hearing this word the whole time and just
not
understood what it was. Or, like, that's, like, the most weird memory example I have of, like, how my world just opened up, and all of a sudden, I was hearing a word everywhere. But, like, now when I, like, edit audio, like, everything I've ever learned has come to this point where like I am how I am now, but that shit was always available for me.
Exactly. That's how I feel too, dude. Even when I was watching you before, like editing stuff, I couldn't even hear you put like adding the, not even like an EQ or like in a compressor. It would just be there and it would sound good, But like now I feel like I can't help but hear all that stuff, bro. Like it's crazy, man.
Straight up, bro. Hi, just like, are we like living in the same world as people that see it like that have like a closed off perspective, or are those people just literally living in a different dimension because of what they know?
I don't know. And then do they wake up or are they woke in their own sense of, and sense of living, and they just have their own way of going about, and they can still live a path that like, is righteous, or like, I don't even know, righteous is a poor choice of words, but like, something that's like meaningful, even though like, you're really close-minded, but you like, say you're only close-minded about like, you're like a religious person, like you're like, oh no, God heals all, but you like give back to the poor, and like, you give back to the community and stuff like that, and you're actually helping out, and like you grow spiritually, but like you still kind of are like,
you cap at a certain point when it comes to like how much you believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. Because religion's all about separating you from the creator, whereas spirituality is all about showing how you have the God inside of you.
Inside of you, exactly.
Or like that you're a part of it. That's a trip. That's a fat ass trip.
That was a good question.
Damn, bro. And then it's like, does a line see a fucking 3D cube?
A what? A line, yeah.
Like there could be a line, and then on the piece of paper there's a cube. And the cube for sure sees the line because the cube is comprised of lines. But the line is obviously sitting right next to the cube in the 2D dimension.
Seeing a bunch of lines probably, right?
Yeah.
Just like how we see a bunch of humans, but we're all thinking on different realms and planes, so it's just like you enter someone else's realm and you're trying to understand them. And it couldn't, like, that's where arguments come into play, and like, just all this other type of things, because people don't want to try to understand your realm. They're just in their realm. So it's like, if you can come, maybe that's what like we should all practice a little bit, is just like practicing knowing that you're entering someone else's realm before you make a, speak or make a decision.
Very true. The world is very, very simple. At least in my mind, like, it's very simple. I respect people how I want to be respected. I speak to people how I want them to speak to me. I take the time to think about what they're going through when I choose to react. And I'm not perfect at that shit, but, like, it literally... Well, that sounded like a motherfucking gunshot.
Gunshot, bro. On our side. It's real out here.
But, yeah, dude, like, to me, it could be simple. And I get that it's not, and I get that it probably never will be. But maybe that's what this world is supposed to show you. Like, let's say we are on our last trip to this world. If you believe in reincarnation or incarnation, like, what if the reason why certain people are always getting into drama, certain people are always, like, picking fights or focusing their energy on shit that's not getting them anywhere, what if those people are just, like, new souls? And, like, the reason why I'm able to, like, hindsight, look at that and see that is because, like...
You've been here a while.
I've been here
a bunch of times. Yeah. And it's easier, like, how... Like you said, or like people say, like, you can never forget how to ride a bike, So, like, if you've been here before, like, once you see it, you'll be like, hey, it'll click in your head a little bit faster than, something that's, like, really, really new to you.
It'll just connect and, like, make sense.
So it's easier for you to, like, try to grasp a bunch of these concepts that are, like, coming at you as opposed to, like, and that, that's all I feel a part of, like, mastering your inner you. I don't even want to call it a soul or a spirit, because then that gets into that whole realm that people don't want to hear about, but just that inner you that you can't deny is there, like even through with like beyond the cells and the atoms and everything that, is us, all the electrical signals that, the brain sends down the spine and like, it goes down to your different body parts and stuff like that. It's like there's something driving that, and you can't just say that it's electricity. And if your consciousness doesn't exist or like spirituality doesn't exist, then like it's just something, like you are something or someone. It can't just be like, I don't know. It just really can't be.
There would be no personal motivation if there wasn't something else. Because we would just serve a function. Like I would get up every day, I would go to work, I would juice the things I need to juice, prep the things I need to prep, order the things that I need to order, come home, and I would eat and I would sleep and I would do my, boyfriend duties, and I would do my, father of pig and guana and guinea pig duties, and then what would be the point after that if there wasn't the personal attachment to it? Or what would be the purpose of me wanting to do my best and not just get the job done if there wasn't a personal motivation, if there wasn't something that made me unique and separated me from the other human robots that are getting up every day and doing the same thing for no reason? Why are we doing it if there's no purpose? Why are we trying to make things better for people if there's no purpose? Or how do we even become what we're becoming without there being a point to it? Just like Merkaba was talking about, bringing it back to the crystal thing that we were talking about earlier. He was talking about our DNA and how our DNA is encoded, and that's why there are certain behaviors, just like on a computer when you restart it to its factory settings. There are certain things that computer just knows how to do. It's in its algorithm. It is very quick to restart and just do those things. But then there are certain things that you can go in and tell your computer and tweak the code so that it knows how to do certain things. But when our DNA from when our parents are doing the damn thing to our cells start growing, there are certain things that are just built into our DNA and into the crystals that are in our DNA that hold that information. Oh, it's so much. If we were super experts on any one of the things we're talking about, that'd be cool.
10,000 hours of each. But then think about that. We would never get to the podcast. So At least we're bringing these ideas, and these thoughts up. So people just have them in the realm of thoughts, bro. Because I feel even just the thoughts we have or just the conversations that we have personally, off of camera or whatever, off of Instagram, YouTube, they still manifest somewhere all the time, every single time, And we'll be like, let's make a TUS trading card and go online and see people with some trading cards already. You're like, damn, fool, I swear I just made that up in my head. But
or the person that wanted to sue Michael Jackson for taking the song. Have you heard about that lawsuit?
What happened?
Someone tried to sue Michael Jackson back in the day because Michael Jackson took his song, but Michael Jackson never came in contact with that person, never met that person. He swears that Michael Jackson swooped his song, but it's probably just you had a good idea, this person had a good idea, and it's in the collective conscious now. And once the thought has been thought, you better jump on that shit.
Bro, there's bars that I've heard famous people say that I've definitely written in songs before I heard the song. They could have written the song before me, but I've been what? That's... But that is just rhyming and rap in general, You're going to come across similarities, but I feel I'd be damn, man, that was my, I can't even use this anymore type shit, damn.
But it still came from you. It still came from the essence that is you.
And us.
And us. Let's see what time we're at. Because I know we got a
7:47.
7:47. That means
it's up to you though. I think this was a good one. I think we got our point across.
Go check out The Real Merkaba. He has really, really cool videos about things of the esoteric nature, not necessarily scientific to the T. He uses some evidence-based research and stuff to explain his positions on shit, but
he's definitely, he probably is a master in a certain aspect, of certain things, but like we said, he's not a master in every single thing. He's well-rounded for sure in in a lot of different aspects.
Well-spoken too. I really like to listen to how he breaks things down in a way that doesn't use drama, doesn't use
negative connotations toward anyone. It's almost what the common misconceptions are about things and what a human should actually be, how humans should actually be taking these these
into
things into consideration. Yeah, exactly.
I gotta do way more videos of his, or watch way more videos of his. But yeah,
I'll recommend some more for everybody and for you, bro.
Yeah, this was super fun. As always, comment, subscribe, go follow the It's Not Sus channel. I hope that my brothers in TUS are going to start dropping other content on here too. Saint Nick, I want to see you dropping your videos.
We're going to get on some anime shit,
Jesse,
bro.
I want to see you dropping your videos. Motherfucking Hoop Boy, where the vlogs at? You know what I'm saying?
This is a call out to all TUS. Assemble.
Because the podcast will for sure be dropping every motherfucking Thursday. We love you. Hindsight 2020.
Think about your week. Think about your month. Think about your year. Don't regret any of it, though. And, learn from it.
Straight up.